Commission Corner presents Civil Engineering Objective Type Questions Part 2. 26 sheet pile walls are used as A. Uplift preventing devices. B. Retaining walls for waterfront construction. C. Load-bearing foundations. D. Seepage preventing devices. 27. The weight per unit volume of a sample of soil mass is called A. Dry density. B. Specific gravity. C. Bulk density. D. Unsaturated density. 28. Permeability of granular soil varies. A. Inversely as grain size. B. As grain size. C. As square of grain size. D. Inversely as square of grain size. 29. Failure of the stability of slopes generally occurs along A. A vertical surface. B. A horizontal surface. C. A curved surface. D. All the surfaces. 30. The angle of internal friction of round-grained dense sand is about A. 50 to 250. B. 250 to 30. C. 30 to 35. D. 32 to 37. 2 steel parts at right angles are welded with fillet weld of 10 mm size. The throat thickness of the fillet weld should be A. 7 mm. B. 10 mm. C. 12 mm. D. 5 mm. The effective height of bearing stiffeners is A. More than D. B. Less than D. C. 0.7 D. D. 2D. The minimum thickness of plates in a steel stack should be A. 3 mm. B. 5 mm. C. 6 mm. D. 9 mm. 34. As per IS 800-1974, the maximum longitudinal pitch allowed in bolted joints of tension members is about A. 12 times thickness of plate. B. 12 times diameter of the bolt. C. 16 times thickness of plate. 35. In a pressed rest member, it is advisable to use D. 16 times diameter of the bolt. A. Low-strength concrete only. B. High-strength concrete only. C. Low-strength concrete but high tensile strength. D. High-strength concrete and high tensile. 36. Partial safety factors used for steel and concrete in limit state design are A. 1.5 and 1.5. B. 1.0 and 1.5. C. 1.15 and 1.5. D. 1.0 and 1.0. A retaining wall. Retaining a surcharge. If overall height of the wall is h, then the width of the base slab would be A. 0.70 h. B. 0.55 h. C. 0.50 H. D. 0.40 H. The ratio of maximum shear stress to average shear stress of a circular beam is A. 2/3, B. 3/2, C. 3/4, D. 4/3. 39. The thickness of the flange of a T-beam of a ribbed slab is generally assumed as A. Depth of the rib, B. Width of the rib, C. Thickness of the concrete topping, D. Half the thickness of the rib. 40. Design of R.C.C. cantilever beams is based on the resultant force at A. Fixed end, B. Free end, C. Midspan, D. Midspan and fixed support. 41. Diameter of main bars in R.C.C. columns shall not be less than A. 6 mm, B. 8 mm, C. 10 mm, D. 12 mm. 42. What is the modulus of elasticity of concrete mix M25? A. 2500 N/mm, B. 5700 N/mm, C. 15,000 N/mm, D. 28,500 N/mm. For concreting of heavily reinforced sections, that too without vibration, the compaction factor for concrete should be A. 0.75, 0.80, B. 0.80, 0.85, C. 0.85, 0.92, D. Above 0.92. If the thickness is small in comparison with length and width, such structural members are called as A. One-dimensional, B. Two-dimensional, C. Three-dimensional, D. None of these. 45. Number of unknown internal forces in each member of a rigid jointed plane frame is A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. 6. 46. In case of eccentricity loaded struts, the section preferred is A. Solid, B. Hollow, C. Tapering, D. Composite. 47. Points of contraflexure are the points where A. Beam is supported, B. Bending moment is 0, C. Shear force is 0, D. Bending moment changes sign. Geologically, marble is known as A. Sedimentary rock, B. Igneous rock, C. Metamorphic rock, D. Stratified rock. For 1 cubic meter of brick masonry, number of bricks is A. 400, B. 450, C. 500, D. 550. 50. The standard size of brick as per IS standard is A. 20 x 10 x 10 centimeters, B. 23 x 12 x 8 centimeters, C. 19x 9x 9 centimeters d, 18x 9x 9 centimeters. Like, share and subscribe to Commission Corner for more of such content.